see that come through.
And Morgana is the choice.
Wacky.
What did I say in the T1 versus Gen G series? Just play Morgana into Ziggs.
Yeah, you literally said
I
that.
said literally that.
Someone can lose this game. 100% he has the highest damage by a large margin, very likely. He's up against a Morgana who can avoid a lot of that damage, can set up some stuns. See what Barrel ends up building, because there's going to be, of course, the support Sejuani here. And he can still build Anathemas for sure. It's not going to be solo lane, though, because they did pick up the Gangplank.
And this isn't the first time he's played support Sejuani.
Nope.
The last time around, even the entire... He can't really do that with Ziggs. You know, he can kind of satchel himself out. He can kind of take care of himself because he has some mobility.
Arthur's here. They're trying to bait this super hard.
Yeah, they are, and Barrel's able to get out of there. But look at the damage going on to Canyon. He's just staying in there, and there's no real escape for him. He is going to flash, though, as the satchel comes in, and now he's really fast. And with the binding, he will go down just barely. Deft is able to make it happen.
You have to be aggressive like this in the early game if you're Hanwha Life Esports. It's exactly where you're at your strongest.
And then towards the beginning of 2020. But here's the fight again.
Yeah, look at how much damage mitigation they have against the Ziggs here at this moment.
나
He's also low
Q3
mana, so he can't really continue to push the
저,
issue. They do
quick
grab
해볼게.
the satchel charge there onto Leona, but they just don't have enough damage to kill him.
나이스,
Finish
나 불실
him off.
없다. 여기 봐줘, 여기 봐줘.
Ghost is so low on mana, and you just can't stay there anymore.
But again, like, Tovi's going to have to carry on this Lee Sin.
Yeah.
It's their first pick. They gave up Ziggs for this, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do on Lee Sin.
I mean, it's not as strong, obviously, in the side lanes or in soul lanes as it used to be, but still very good if you can actually land those kicks, if you can get on top of Ghost in these scenarios. You have to thread the needle. Meanwhile,
a 2v2. I'm not sure if Hanwha Life really want to take this, though, as the Morgana, or not the Morgana, the Gwen is just being jumped on here. Deft gets in, but a little bit too late. There's the Blast Plant, but he's got the Black Shield, so this is not getting over here. Tovi's trying to turn this on to Canyon, who is quite tanky already, but you can see the follow-up from Showmaker's just not there.
now they have level 6.
Tovi's getting in there. He wants to go for the kill, but he's only going to hit the clone, and so winning or doing well in the lane, he's not going to be oppressive in a side lane either. So
Speaking of winning the lane, he's actually in danger right now.
he's losing his lane, losing control over it right now as in comes the follow-up, and look at this. You're never going to get away from that amount of CC, but Arthur is trying to turn this around. He has insane damage onto the support Sejuani.
He's a Gwen.
He has only Merc Dreads. That's a nice dodge from Khan, trying to help out here against Chovy, and now the teleports are coming in. Canyon not going to be able to survive for too long. The Barrel not getting huge damage. As the turnarounds here could be good. Arthur picks up a second kill, and Showmaker's desperately trying to get some follow-up, but he cannot. And look at this, Chovy's just going to solo.
It's a wipe.
Ghost, and that's it. Everybody dies up here.
A triple kill, 4 kills in total here for against Damwon Kia, and Damwon Kia are not respecting the top side of the map. The Rift Tower gets insane value. This could not be a worse situation for Damwon Kia. As we go back and watch this moment again, this is where we all started. But look at Gwen's damage output at this stage in the game. It's insane. Meanwhile,
oh, the flash follow-up here, even after the satchel, trying to take down Ghost. Will the ticking damage be enough? The answer is no.
group down and try to punish Ghost right now, who still has no flash.
Speaking of which,
Yeah, he has no flash.
Ghost is, I mean, okay, they're just going to try to turn it here. The damage is good on Sedudu, and even Tovi's going to get CC'd down to death. And who's trapped in here with who? It ends up to be Ziggs, who picks up a double kill instead.
Wow, what a turn. Just didn't have vision. They didn't realize that he was actually not, in fact, alone. Okay, Showmaker.
All right, trying to lock him down. That's going to be the kick. And now Showmaker's all alone. They're just going to hand that kill over to Arthur. As Chovy, this is what he's got to do. He finds a pick in the side lane. And here's now Hanwha Life side lane pressure.
Yeah, I mean, now that they can group up and catch LeBlanc, she can't actually be out like this. You know, this is why I was talking about LeBlanc.
They're trying to go on to Canyon now, but the teleport is coming in. The Ziggs ultimate goes totally wide. And now the teleports are coming out here from Hanwha Life, and one by one the dominoes fall.
This is the same problem they had just moments ago, right? And this is why I was saying it was brave, but also smart for Khan. Like, he knew just how much he could push the envelope in the side lane. Meanwhile, moments later, a LeBlanc tries to do almost under turret the same thing, and when there's no objective for Hanwha Life Esports to be grouped on, they punish instantly, like piranhas, man, to blood in the water. And they're going to look for the Baron.
There's a lot of poke here from the side of Dom1, except everything is going wide. There's still a ton of damage from Ziggs and Showmaker's in here trying to get that ult down. That's going to be the kill on the Vista, but the Baron still goes the way of Hanwha Life. Dom1 I'm not sure if they can actually chase in here. They had that's Dom1's biggest sticking point right now. They're actually going to try to fight over this dragon here. Showmaker is just basically going to try to kill Deft here, and the Cannon Barrage will finish him off. So now it's 5v4, you don't have a Morgana, and Dom1 will be able to take this dragon.
Now this is pretty massive for Dom1. Hanwha Life Esports have to just concede the point immediately, trying to push elsewhere on the map. Pushing up very far here, actually, for this inner turret. Dom1 Kia, they're already grouped. It's really easy to actually collapse in here.
All right, trying to get the pick off, but where is the follow-up? Okay, Toby's trying to go in there 1v3. That is a nice amount of damage done, but Barrel gonna get an ult off. A lot of posturing here. Toby goes in, but immediately he's gonna have to stopwatch. So that's that item gone, and now there's the big ultimate from Dudu, but there's no follow-up at this point, and look at the gangplank in the corridor, just bursting everyone down. As Arthur has a stopwatch, only Vista gets a kill.
Really shocking to see Hanwha Life Esports push the inner turret here. You can maybe go for the inner turret on the top side of the map. You could split off, try to push the wave, maybe steal some of the jungle camps, but to be that close, I mean, this is a really nice setup. You have to go through the choke, but there's not that much AoE here for Hanwha Life. So you can just slowly chip through.
Uh-oh, Barrel gets caught though. He's able to flash away, but there's still a lot of damage as Toby's going in, and he won't be killed. Even that huge shield comes down, and now you got Arthur on the back line. Showmaker gets exhausted. They're fighting front to back here, but Arthur just never dies. Finally, right as I say that, he dies. He just gets burst down by the immense amount of damage they have, and now Showmaker's going in.
It's a fight on two fronts because Showmaker can be on the left side on the flank, but he can also be right up in the thick of things. And just like I said, Barrel is happy to tank the damage so the rest of his team can get that damage on. The health bars are too low now for Hanwha Life Esports. They can't out-sustain this tank line anymore, so they're simply going to have to give this Drake up. And you look at the tanks here, okay.
Yeah, they really want to pick someone off, but, I mean, what are they going to be able to get? The turn comes
here.
in, and Showmaker just bursts the back line, and Toby, he's not fed enough anymore. Even Showmaker's online now, and Showmaker will go down, but it's still a triple kill. And
don't fight that. Do you just sit back and lose the game? Like, it's really hard, you know?
It's rough. And you can see what Morgana does offer to this. It's a very defensive pick, because now we're getting the kick on a Showmaker, but he's got a Zhonya's already, and he's going to be able to try to get away, but Gwen is really impressive here. Chovy lives. Can Arthur do it here? He's going to get a double kill, and now he's got his own Zhonya's. Canyon trying desperately to lock him down, and finally, he will be able to. Not to mention Khan wasn't even here the whole time. He was skirmishing against Dudu on the left side. And that's going to be Dom1. It looks like they've secured this game number one.
Yeah, really nice plays from both teams. I really actually liked how Hanwha Life Esports played the early game. When they decided to go for that mid-inner turret, I think that's when things really went wrong. Compositionally, Dom1 Kia had the superior comp for these front-to-back team fights, but still, you know, Hanwha Life Esports were ahead early.
Okay, Dudu's trying to turn it around, but say hello to Ziggs. I think he's still got to hit the Nexus here. You got to be careful about those health bars. The stun's trying to come down, but nope, that's going to be a last couple of autos. And Dom1 Kia will, especially considering the comps we saw.
Showmaker got caught on the top side of the map, and yeah, his damage pales in comparison to Ghosts and Cons, and actually Canyons, which is pretty amazing to see 22,000 damage on the volley bear.
So much in this game.
And Showmaker, but Showmaker's damage, all of that red part of the bar you see, was effective damage in the most important team fights, where he was harassing Vista. He was forcing Vista to stopwatch. He was forcing Vista out of the fight. He was pushing Deft back. Like, those are the calls. We'll see how much impact LeBlanc is going to have in the early game against Nikali. It's going to be very much skill-based. But if you can actually snowball this bottom lane and then continue to take objective control with the Aatrox, doesn't matter how much he falls off later on. He's going to CC you. It's going to be not an easy lane to win. You're not going to have full control. A lot of the time, Mundo in the top lane, because of his sustainability, just goes, well, I'm CSing for free, and you can hit me, but it doesn't matter. But with Aatrox, it kind of matters, especially when you have a Gwen who can come up and sweep through that health bar super easily.
We'll see if he can do it in this one, as we got a gank set up. Up in the top side, trying to flash on top of Khan. He's going to flash now, but the Q does land, and that will be first blood. given over to Morgan on the Mundo.
I've always loved the Morgan-Arthur jungle duo. We don't see it all that often because Morgan doesn't play that much recently. And
oh, okay, they're not going to go for it here. They're just setting up for a play on the Scuttle Crab. That's not going to be stolen, as Beryl is definitely still thinking about this. The flash is not great, but do they have the damage follow-up? They absolutely do. No escape here as Canyon hits level 6 and just bursts him down.
Yeah, that was really insanely greedy from Vista. I say that. Arthur might look for, like, the steal.
This is level 4 with no flash.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
This is kind of crazy.
Do you guys really want to take this fight? Beryl is also level 4 without flash, but the difference is there's 5 members of Damwon, which they didn't have 100% information of, but also they were in a better position. And speaking of which, Morgan is going to pop that ult and try to escape here, but the damage is just too much.
On the stage. He said yes, but we'll see how it goes.
All right, will the steal come in? The answer is no, and Gwen just denies the CC. Beryl kind of in an awkward spot, but they don't quite have the damage, but Chovy and Arthur will be able to get in there as Damwon just leaves him to the wolves. We saw him group up in the top side. We'll have to hold that thought. Beryl is caught out here, 1v2. There is nobody around as what? Wait, he actually just kicked him over the wall watching that, you know. I feel bad for... Okay.
Oh my god, no way. It was just totally tabbed. This is the one of those ones you have to watch. And he's like, actually, God was on my side. Like, he's laughing. Oh, man.
Dragon is going to reset, and Beryl once again. He's really going to be careful about the amount of damage he is taking.
Typical Beryl, right? He's looking for the 100% highest risk, highest reward play on the side. Is going to be forced away. And actually, we see him recalling right now. Damwon Kia are going to have to win this 4v5 if they're going to actually take this fight straight up. Now, Hanwha Esports don't know this, actually. So... he actually does not commit the recall. He does not complete the recall.
You can see kind of the idea behind Mundo. He just sits here and he eats up a bunch of damage, and eventually he's going to be able to get some of that health back. As here's the committal coming on in and getting to that back line, and look at this. LeBlanc is trying to be burst down, but he does get away. Vista with the stopwatch, but he immediately goes down as Chovy's still alive, trying to go 1v3, but he has to ult out of this one. As Khan, low health, but he is the Aatrox, not able to lock down Deft, and Deft with full health might be the most dangerous member, but he doesn't have much of a team around him. Yeah,
this would be so funny. This just ends up being a complete reset for both teams, and it looks like that is, in fact, what is going to happen because neither team actually willing to be the ones to engage. Khan getting teleported onto here by Chovy, so he's going to back off and respect this. Arthur stays near. It does have his smite coming up here in just a second, so Damwon Kia don't have the health bars to contest. If it's Arthur alone, yes, but Chovy's here still. They're going to try to catch him.
To burst him. He doesn't have his ult, and in the Shroud, the flash is going to be enough just to get him that little bit of extra space.
This is so crazy, this fight.
Arthur in the pit, and the smite comes down early, trying to survive, and he will go down alongside of the Drake, going the way of Damwon.
Now they're going to catch Ghost, and I think he goes down 100%.
He has flash. Will it matter is the question. Shuriken lands, there's the suitcase, and that will be easy. Chains of Corruption come in. That's a nice little shutdown over to the side of Chovy.
Yeah, really nicely done. And it's still such an even game. Now, Damwon Kia still have those advantages in terms of 2 Drakes they hold right now. And we have positional advantage now on this Rift Herald.
Force a react late, too.
Yeah.
It's going to despawn soon as they're trying to get on top of Khan here. Arthur and Vista on the chase. In they go onto Khan, and honestly, can he actually survive here? He's getting so much damage, he's still alive, and the Gwen Needles come through, and they will finish off the job. Khan still alive, and now he's at full health. The power of the Aatrox shown in full effect in that fight as Damwon smashed them.
I mean, Aatrox and Gwen, could you have any more healing? This is like one of those times where you come back down to the basement, and it's like Canyon has here. It looks ridiculous. Like, when you watch this moment,
it's so fed,
crazy.
Too.
He's so fed, as you mentioned, but Chovy goes through, and then Khan just has all that extra healing. He just barely stays alive, and then Chovy is blown up. Vista is trying to peel. It's just absurd. And even if Khan dies, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and now he's up to full, and he gets another kill, and now he's just extremely so far ahead.
Deft ate a couple of abilities from LeBlanc, who was totally safe, able to bounce back over the wall. And even without the Baron, they're just waltzing into the base and taking whatever they want. Canyon is the least afraid right now. He really does not care. He's like, yeah, cool story. Although he is going to get knocked up here.
He doesn't care.
For a split, for less than a split second there, I was worried. Although Canyon was not. Maybe, nope. He's got his on his. I think he's still fine.
He's definitely fine.
Flashes back to his team. The ult comes in. That's going to miss as well. No Shuriken commit. And Mundo will stand there and die. But other than that, you're not really looking at much. And it's also Ocean Soul alongside of Aatrox and Gwen.
Jeff so whole Magic Mantle. He's like, maybe this will help. I don't know. So sad.
If you don't have 5 anti-healing items at this point, I don't know what to tell you. As here's the damage. Gwen is going to be at full health as she single-handedly chops down the entirety of the Hamalite team. Can they kill him? The answer is going to be yes. They finally get the Gwen. Fortunately, it's a little bit too little too late, as Khan is also trying to frontline here.
Khan's like, I'm also AD Gwen.
Yeah.
Without scissors, I have a big slicey sword.
It's one half of the scissor, but bigger. All right, let's see what Toby can do. He's trying to get in that back line. As some damage is being done here through the Shroud. As Toby, yeah, he's just trying to get out of here at this point. They have the Fountain, and Morgan is just trying to soak damage, but that's all that the Mundo has been doing all day long. Gonna drop a bunch of money on the ground. And that's basically what's been happening in this game anyway. The Nexus is gonna go down as Vista desperately tries to stop this, but Damwon are looking for even more. As Khan is gonna just, you know, casually 1v4 at the end of this game because that's what he does. And actually the double kill. Will they get the Nexus? The answer is not before he dies. That's going to be the 2-0 for Damwon.
He doubled Mundo's, but that's to be expected. Well, I mean, it's to be expected that he outdoes Mundo's damage. Doubling, maybe not so much, but I think I did vote for Canyon in the end, but I really wanted to vote for Kong. It was a hard call.